Hey guys, welcome to Dank Takes with Nima. This is my first part in a series from Irangate to Russiagate, the rise and fall of a dynasty. This part deals with the rise and fall of the Clintons and their particular brand of neoliberalism. So imagine, if you will, November 8th, 2016. By 9 p.m., things were already starting to look bad. The outsized optimism of the Clinton campaign led them to stay at the ostentatious Peninsula Hotel, breaking with the New York Democrat tradition of staying at the much more humble Sheraton Hotel. One cohort thought it would be just another move to troll Trump, his rage compounded by the fact that a single block down from Trump Tower, Hillary Rodham Clinton was living like she too was a billionaire. Clinton's post-election celebration plans included hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fireworks, live performances by various celebrities such as Cher and Lady Gaga, who came believing that Clinton was going to win the election, a $500,000 special effect glass ceiling that she would break through in a dramatic display once she walked out on the America-shaped stage at her HQ, one of the millions of dollars worth of other celebratory preparations, of course paid for by the Clinton Foundation in full. The most notable damage was deep in the VIP room. A custom 150-inch Ultra HD TV, a gift from the Saudi Arabian government, found broken. A $950,000 bottle of champagne that was believed to have been thrown at the screen by the former presidential candidate. Early in the morning, the custodial staff were greeted by flipped-over tables as the floors were covered with the expensive food and drink and appetizers. Broken champagne flutes and gilded silverware were scattered around the would-be party room. The most telling sign of the massive meltdown was the cake, the pastry that had once proudly displayed the presidential seal was violently flung against the walls in chunks. A broken topper from the cake in the shape of the White House was discovered lodged firmly into the drywall near the dessert table. Clinton's splurge on party supplies was merely an echo of all the hype that confirmed her indubitable win. Once it became clear that it would not be Clinton's night, however, the mood of the party soured rapidly. A former staffer who was fired during the rampage said that the atmosphere around Clinton went from queen of the hour to girl who was dumped on prom night in only a few moments. She blamed FBI Director James Comey and President Barack Obama for not doing enough to stop the FBI investigation into her email scandal. Clinton reportedly became physically violent towards her campaign staff after she realized she had lost the presidential election, after accosting Robbie Mook and John Podesta in a psychotic drunken rage around midnight. She had to be restrained, then sedated, by her doctor. Over the last year, Hillary had been having screaming, childlike tantrums that left many of her staff members in tears and unable to work. This was the culmination of all of them. In the end, Podesta, who was sent out to talk to Hillary's dejected supporters while Clinton was nowhere to be seen, told CNN to ban all mention of these Hillary in the bunker stories. This story is probably bullshit, but it's a poetic essence. I believe it to be true, because something here, something truly visceral, something emotional and in its pure, raw, poetic essence, captured here by these right-wing preachers and Twitter rumor mongers that railed against the Clintons over the years. It just, a part of me wants to believe it's true, and in my heart and soul, I believe it. It touched on something real, even though the story itself is probably a bunch of fucking bullshit. The fall of the Clintons ended in what many now call Russiagate. Their rise, however, is a lot murkier of an affair, starting with the lesser-known Irangate, more commonly known as the Iran-contra affair. Back in the 80s, you see, Clinton was presiding over the hubs of the infamous drug and weapons trafficking operation in Mena, Arkansas. Fittingly, the entire history of the US in this period could be described as opposition to these two poles, one being Iran and the other being Russia. Between these two poles, these two gates, is where I'm situating the fall of Clintonism. Because let me be clear, there would be no Clinton dynasty without Iran-contra, according to Chinese-Canadian journalist Larry Chin. And what do I mean by that? Let me explain. So, with Iran-Contra, you have the start of the close relationship of the Clintons to the intelligence agencies. They spent this period in the 80s running cover for these intelligence operations. This ingratiated themselves with the Republican Party at this really vital moment because the Democrats had an opportunity to really press Reagan with this thing that would have that a lot of Democrats, looking back on it, technically would have said this could be a form of high treason. But it take this moment in the what they do is they take this moment in the mid 80s and they go, yeah, we need more of that. We need more of that. Because right when this breaks is where Clinton gets started in this big attempt to shift the Democratic Party rightward and towards these intelligence agencies, towards these neocon types. And through doing this, what he does is financially he puts the CIA on life support, and that's necessary for both the funding purposes, the all the dark money. Incidentally, Jeffrey Epstein was tied up in this too. And also, it's important for what is known as political triangulation, which is where he uses the political center to position himself as above politics. And this comes after his kind of a suppression of the political new left. And when this was all coming out, this was timed with his first presidential run. This was coming out in the 1986, and he runs around 1987, 88. So this was all public. It was all public that the governor of Arkansas was essentially presiding over one of the few proven CIA conspiracies over the agency's existence. Well, that's not what they would like to tell you, what they would have you believe. And when I say they, I mean obviously they're people, the campaign. I'm not speaking in abstractions here. I don't speak in abstractions. I want people to know the names, to know the organizations. So I'm not, dog whistling about, New World Order or the elites or the establishment. We all know who these people are. It's not that difficult. But the thing that always really bothered me is that they were always kind of portrayed as having their roots in what's known as the New Left, the hippie movement. They were the baby boomers, and that's not really true.